Hey there, boaters. I'm Captain Stacy Hanrahan, and this is Boaters TV. Coming up in Did You Know? You catch more flies with honey in this week's Mad Mariner Report. About, 60-some episodes ago, we went over tips for becoming a better neighbor at your marina. Today, Mad Mariner's Janet Graney, the same Janet who gave us that great marina manners advice, has more ideas for keeping the docks friendly. Marinas are close communities, literally. Sometimes there's just a few feet between your boat's engine exhaust and your neighbor's stereo speakers. So it's important to be aware of how your actions may affect those around you. Janet reminds us to conserve water and power, even if they're included in the slip rate. Excessive water and power use costs the marina management and the earth. Besides, it'll just come back to bite you and everyone else when rates are raised. Watch your pets. Pets cause many problems between neighbors on land, and it's no different at marinas. Scoop up your pet's messes, don't just hose them into the water, and never let your dog or cat go to the bathroom on hoses, lines, or other boats. Urine happens to be as corrosive as salt water, not to mention offensive. Janet suggests being proactive. Throw a potluck or organize a cocktail hour. If you're not very social, try putting together a loaner tool bin. And avoid personal confrontations. Don't go starting dock fights. If your marina manager refuses to deal with a serious problem, you may have to call in outside authorities, zoning officials, the fire marshal, or environmental enforcers. Finally, as Janet's told us before, lighten up. It's marina life, and it's a good one. For more of Janet's friendly tips, go to www.madmariner.com. Up next, Sport Fishing Magazine's Dr. Bob Shipp is giving us the fish facts on red snapper.
The red snapper is the creme de la creme of all our reef fishes. It's an important species along the South Atlantic coast of the U.S., but in the northern Gulf of Mexico, it's far and away the most valuable of all fishes. It supports the charter boat fishery from Panama City to Corpus Christi, and thus is a major player in that coast's vibrant tourist industry. We've learned a lot about red snapper in recent years. For one thing, they are a very long-lived fish, with some cruising around for more than 50 years. Also, their habitats change with age. During the first year of life, they favor open bottom in areas where there's a slight amount of low structure. As they get older, they tend to move to bigger structure, and that's why they're so abundant in artificial reef areas. Over the last several decades, their population has markedly increased in areas where reefs have been built. Nevertheless, they are still considered overfished. Another thing we've learned is that red snapper have a strong tendency to stay put. In some tagging work we've done, they have remained at the same small reef site for up to 5 years and probably will stay longer. However, hurricanes and tropical storms will displace them, especially in the shallow part of the continental shelf. With the recent intense hurricanes that have struck the northern Gulf, some red snapper have moved several hundred miles. Because of the economic importance of red snapper, management has been an issue of major concern to both federal and state governments. According to the models, recovery will take decades because so many juvenile snapper are killed as bycatch in the shrimp trawl fishery. This has led to major confrontations between user groups, especially the charter and commercial snapper fishermen and the shrimp fleet. For Sport Fishing Magazine TV, I'm Dr. Bob Shipp.
Thanks to Sport Fishing TV for that report. For more fish facts, go to www.sportfishingmag.com. Now it's time to answer yesterday's Rules of the Road question. The question was, both international and inland, which situation would be a special circumstance under the rules? A, vessel at anchor, B, more than 2 vessels meeting, C, speed in fog, or D, 2 vessels crossing? And the answer is B, more than 2 vessels meeting. Have you ever noticed that nowhere in the rules does it tell you what to do if you're meeting more than 1 vessel on the water? Well, this question is really meant to bring your attention to rule number 2, which is what many call the catch-all rule. It really is the most important one to remember, so I'm going to read it to you. Rule number 2, responsibility. Nothing in these rules shall exonerate any vessel or the owner, master or crew thereof, from the consequences of any neglect to comply with these rules or of the neglect of any precaution which may be required by the ordinary practice of seamen or by the special circumstances of the case. In construing and complying with these rules, due regard shall be had to all dangers of navigation and collision and to any special circumstances, including the limitations of the vessels involved, which may make a departure from these rules necessary to avoid immediate danger. Okay, so that basically says that no rule gives a vessel permission to ignore common sense and good seamanship. All vessels must operate with due regard for the dangers of navigation and may have to do something not specifically prohibited in the rules to avoid danger or collision. Remember, no vessel really has any rights, but all vessels have responsibilities. Now, it's with a heavy heart that I must inform you the show will be suspended for an undetermined amount of time. So, that'll do it for now for the Boaters TV. It's been a great voyage. For TBTV, I'm Captain Stacy. Thanks for watching.